Yo, what is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be covering how I did the drop for my Turns to Dust remix. And yeah, let's pretty much get right into it. So, this is how the drop sounds. Also, I don't have the vocals, unfortunately, because I'm just not organized, and there's been several times where I've cleaned out this computer, so lost the vocals. But we can still cover this drop because I have all these other sounds. So let's play this real quick. All right. So just making sure that's still recording because OBS just likes to malfunction. So as far as first thing we have here is we have this kick. Sorry about this, guys. It's just this computer overheats and it's it's frustrating. So first thing we have is this kick. This comes from the Sophie pack from Splice. This is Kick Dry 12. As far as how it's processed, we just have a fruity stereo enhancer, which just is making it mono, because without it, it sounds stereo, and I didn't want that. So made it mono. Then we got a Trans X multi stereo, which just is a really nice transient shaper by Waves. And this is just making it a bit more punchy. So if I take this off, this is what it sounds like. And with it on, it just punches through the mix just a little bit more. Then we got a Fruity Parametric EQ, which is just high passing at about 32 hertz. Then it's cutting at about 337 hertz. Some frequencies I didn't like. Maybe it's like some boxy frequencies. And then boosting just a little bit around 5,000 hertz. And that's it for the kick on this. Next thing. Oh, man. Sometimes FL Studio just... oh, man, it's something. It is something. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I could play this bass for you guys. Oh, wait, sorry. This is the sidechain signal. I'm sorry. That's my bad. Next sound we have is the snare, or clap. So this is a Sophie clap, or Sophie snare. Only thing I have, I'm not even going to cover it. Only thing that's on here is just a little bit of reverb and an EQ high pass in this. That's it. So just to make this go by a little faster, we're just going to like generally cover some things, but really important things I'll make sure that I, go into the details of how it's made. All right, so this one we'll go into the detail of. So this is the main bass for this song. So we got two basses. We have this Cymatics 808, and then we have this Sophie sound that I use, the Sophie sub with kick 12. And it looks like I just edited it a little bit, and I like went into Edison and I ended up just cutting off the tail of it or something and used it. So first thing we'll cover is this Cymatics 808. All right, so the Cymatics 808, what we have going on is we have a wave. Actually, no, this is a fruity distortion. For some reason, FL likes to just like not replace the names when you replace the sample. I mean, when you replace a plugin. So we got a just regular stock fruity distortion unit. Without it, it sounds like this. So add some nice distortion. Then we got Camel Crusher, which is adding just some more distortion. Without it, that's what it sounds like. With it. All right. Then we got this Wave Shell. Okay, this is like, I'm low-key giving you guys a secret right now. It makes me feel a type of way because I don't see anybody talk about this plugin. This is like the secret to the most amazing subs ever. This low air plugin is just amazing. So this is helping just give it a lot more girth. So if I take this off, this is what the 808 sounds like. If I put it back on, it's amazing. Take it off, put it back on. Amazing plugin. So Waves low air, amazing. Then we got Fruity Stereo Enhancer. I'm just making this mono. And then I got a Fruity Parametric EQ, which is just taking down some of this sub. just because it was just a bit too much. And then I took down some of these mids, took some of the frequencies I didn't like, and then boost some of these highs. And all together sounds like that. Without any effects, this is what it sounds like. And with all those effects. And how I did that, like what I did is I just literally did slides. So to do the slides, all you got to do is you have to load a sample first of all, or you have to load an FL Studio native plugin, I believe. And then you go over here to this corner where my mouse is, and you want to click this slide feature, and then it'll be a dark green color. And then once it's like that, or black, or whatever color that is, then you want to click wherever you want it to slide to. So it's going to sound wonky, but see how it slid to that? So that's how I did this down. So that's that. So next thing we have is the other top one that makes it sound like that. So to get that, we got this one. And how I got it to sound like this is just a fruity distortion unit again. Camel Crusher on the American Crunch preset. Then we got Valhalla Room. I'm not going to click that just because for some reason some plugins in this specific file, they crash the whole project. I even tried replacing the reverb with Verb Suite and it still crashes. So I don't know what that is. It's something with this specific project that's just wonky. So I'm just not going to click on Valhalla Room because I don't want this to crash. Then we got Fruity Parametric EQ, this is just used for automation purposes. And then this is the actual EQ of it. So I took the sub frequencies out just because I already have a sub for that. And then we boost some of these mid frequencies and then boost up some of these higher mid frequencies / high frequencies. And that's it. So without any effects, it sounds like this. You can barely hear it, and then it sounds like that. So together, without any effects, they both sound like this together. Not good. So processing is really everything. That's what really is going to make a bland sound go to something amazing. So yeah, so next sound we got is this. So how I did this, super simple. Went into Silent. I have on the first oscillator a saw wave with 8 voices. Then on the second oscillator I have a square wave with 8 voices. Then on part B we have nothing. As far as how I got it to sound like this, I put a distortion unit on here, put overdrive. You guys can see the settings right here. And then we got a chorus. And then that's how you get that sound. I also got a low pass filter on here. As far as how it's processed, we have a Fruity compressor, which is doing nothing but acting as a gain knob. So I'm just using this to boost up the volume. Then we got a Fruity delay here, which as you can hear is adding delay. Then we got a Fruity Parametric EQ. This is for automation purposes. And then we have this one, which is taking out some of those harsh frequencies I didn't like. Then we're high passing it about 420. And then we're boosting the high end. So boom. So next sound we got, okay, I covered everything. So next sound is this one. So we got this sound, which is from Serum. This is actually a stock Serum preset. You go to pluck cliche, and that's how you get that sound. As far as the processing, there's nothing on here except an EQ, which is just taking out some harsh frequencies I didn't like and then boosting up some of these higher frequencies. So that's about it. And then high passing it about 390 hertz, 400 hertz really. So that's it. Then we got the next sound, which I made in Silent also. So we have a saw wave on the first oscillator, 8 voices, quite a bit of detune. And then on the second part B of the second oscillator, I'm just gonna say second oscillator, we have a sine wave, and then we got 8 voices. It's detuned quite a bit. And then to make it not cut off suddenly, I just have the release up a little bit and then the decay up a little bit. Then when on part B, we have a triangle, and then we have the voices at 8 and the detune is up quite a bit. Then we have a low pass filter on here, and then a warm drive, and then the resonance is up just a little bit. And that's how you get this sound. As far as processing on this, we have our fruity delay right here, which just adds a delay. Then we got a wave shell. I said wave shell. We have S1 stereo imager, which is basically just making this wider. That's all I use this for. And then I got Valhalla Room. And then we got Fruity Parametric EQ, which is just like a mountain EQ. But it's not about what the EQ looks like. It's about what the sound sounds like. So yeah, this is just high pass, cut some frequencies out, boosted them like crazy up here. And then got some frequencies being cut right here. And then boosting up some more high end right here. So that's how you get that. Without any effects, it sounds like this. With effects, sounds like that. So very thin, but it works in the context of the mix, which is what is important. If a sound sounds pretty by itself, that doesn't mean it's going to sound pretty in the mix. So you got to make sure things sound good together. And that's a mistake that I know a lot of beginner producers are making, or even more experienced producers when they're mixing things. So they're making things sound pretty on their own, but not pretty within the context of the mix. So things may sound ugly on their own, but sound good in the context of the mix. And that's what matters, is the context of the mix as a whole. So let's go to the next sound. We have this piano sound, which is very simple. It's literally just addictive keys, and it is the VHS infomercial piano. Love this piano. I've used it quite a bit on a few songs. It has like this old school classic feel. And then I just got a parametric EQ on here, which is just high passing it at about 340 hertz. And then it is just taking away any of the frequencies that I really am not a fan of. All right. So next sound. This is just literally one of those like trap ride sounds, and it's just got reverb on it and the EQ, so we don't need to really cover that. And self-explanatory what it's doing, it's just tss, tss, tss. It's just hitting every other beat. All right, so next thing, we got this model clap, which this comes from Splice. And I'm not going to go into the processing on this, because literally it's just an EQ and some reverb. And that's literally it. It's just it's a high pass EQ, and then we got some reverb on it. And that's it. Valhalla Room reverb. Let's see. Then we got this, which is also from Splice, I believe. And yeah, there's just an EQ on here, high passing it. Then we have this sound, which you can find in like so many sample packs, but I believe it originated from the Vengeance sample pack. So yeah, this is just acting as a sweep, just to add a little bit more frequency information to make the song sound bigger. What was I gonna say? Oh, it just has an EQ on it, being in its high pass, probably around like 200 hertz. So next sound. So we have a completely dry saw, which just helps make this song sound, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I guess more aggressive and in your face. When you have so much reverb on so many things and delays and stuff, it really washes away that like in your face aggressive sound. It makes things sound like really distant, and it makes the song kind of lose some energy. So you want to kind of, if you can, you want to have like a dry signal somewhere where you just have something that's just completely dry. So that's what I have right here. As far as how I made this, super easy. All it is just a saw wave at 8 voices. On the first oscillator, detuned quite a bit. Then on the second part of the oscillator, we have saw wave, 8 voices, detuned quite a bit. Pretty much the same exact thing. Got the decay up just a little bit, sustain all the way up. Then on part B, we have a Q pulse wave, which at 8 voices, a little bit of detune. And then we have a pulse wave at 8 voices, detuned quite a bit. This is really, I mean, a square, but they call it a pulse. I mean, I guess there's different names for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as processing on this, all we got is a Fruity Stereo enhancer, which is making it wider. Doing the Haas effect, offsetting the left and right channels slightly from each other, creating like this artificial stereo effect. And then we got a sound goodizer here, which is up almost a quarter of the way, which is adding some compression and saturation to the sound. And then we got a fruity parametric EQ, which is just high passing this at about 313 hertz and boosting up some of this high end and some of these high mids and mids. And yeah, that is pretty much the sounds in this section. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. That looks like that's pretty much everything in this section. So let's just play it, and this is what it sounds like. And then every once in a while, you guys can hear have like this reverse kick that happens, which is just this kick reverse. That's all it is. So, and I usually have it happen whenever I do like these breaks, and I'll just have like, so yeah, that's pretty much it. At least for this part of the drop. So then we could go to this other portion. And so we have some effects that happen right here, which transitions us into the next part of this drop, which it adds like a few more sounds, it looks like. So let's go into that. So we have like reverse snare sounds right here, which just reverse. And then we have this effect right here, which is from a Cashmere pack. This is specifically the Cashmere Volume 2 pack, and it's Airlock 03. All right, and then we have this piano that plays in the second part of the drop. Let's see. So we have Addictive Keys once again, and I'm just using Intense Keys preset. I have the tone turned up quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but it's up a little bit. And then we got the FX at, it's just up a little bit. I'm really adding my own FX to this. And then we have another sound, which I'll cover in a second, but let's cover this piano. Okay, so as far as what's happening here, we have a fruity compressor, which is doing no compression at all. I'm just using it as a gain knob, essentially. Then we have a fruity delay, which is just adding delay, of course. And then we have a Valhalla Room, and then we have this, what's this? We have a stereo imager, S1 stereo imager, which is turned up quite a bit with the width up. And I just messed with this setting a bit, which, I mean, it sounds really nice. Let's see what it sounds like without it. Oh, wow. So it's definitely doing something. Oh, actually, okay. I can see what's happening. So I have it doing this. And then what I did is I also panned it, because I guess it was too far to one side. And yeah, that just didn't sound right. So I just panned it. So then it sounded more in the middle. But it sounds really nice though. It gives it its own space within the mix, so that's why it's. Some people might see this as unnecessary, but me doing this, I feel like it just gave it like just a little bit more separation from the other sounds, so you may be able to like hear it a little bit better, or just add like a nice like width to the whole mix as a whole. So the whole mix as a whole. But then the next thing we have is this fruity parametric EQ, which is just doing a lot of cuts of like really harsh resonant frequencies I didn't like in this because of the reverb. And then I boosted some of the high end and high passed it at about 500 hertz. So that's what it sounds like. If I took all the effects off, this is what the piano sounds like. So you can see it does a lot. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So now let's go into this Serum preset that you hear right here. So what is this? This is a stock preset. It's in plucked and it's big bells. So just use that. And as far as what it sounds like on its own, that's what it sounds like. And it's just doing the same exact melody as the piano. It's being high pass, 270 hertz, and that's literally it. And that's how you get that sound. So now let's go over some of these new sounds that have been introduced. We went over that. So then we have this hi-hat. Where is this hi-hat from? Okay, this is just some random hi-hat. As far as how it's processed, literally it's just got reverb and it's being high pass, and that's it. So no need to really go over the processing of that. Let's see, there's one right here. And then we got this. So then we have one more piano right here. It's the exact same piano as the other one I just played, but it's just playing a different melody. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot of reverb in this song, or in this drop in general. So that's what makes it sound so big and wide. And that seems to be pretty much it for this whole drop. And then what ends up happening is it goes to this end part, and then everything pretty much starts to I just added a low pass filter on to everything, and then I just automated it, so then it kind of fades away, which you can hear right here. And then it goes back into this little break section. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this drop. It's actually really simple. It's nothing crazy. I say that pretty much in every single one of these walkthroughs, but it really isn't. So I really hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough. If you'd like to see the whole track, this is the whole track. I literally only showed you this much. If you want to see the second drop, which I'm not putting on YouTube, that's for patrons only. If you want this whole thing, then make sure that you go to my Patreon. You could type in patreon.com/Xan Griffin, XanGriffin, and then you can go be a patron and watch this for as little as $8. So yeah, and there's tons of other walkthroughs too, and future walkthroughs that are coming. So please go check that out. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice day or night or whatever time it is wherever you are. If you have any questions or suggestions or anything, make sure you comment below and I will get to you. So yeah, peace. Actually, wait, before I go, let me make sure I covered everything. Okay. So I almost left. There's a few more things I didn't cover. My bad. So we got this sound. But it's not really, you can barely hear it. I should have turned this up because it's actually a really cool sound. This is from Labs, Peel guitar. And it's just playing this ARP. Processing is literally just a mono mod, which is doing this wow preset. And then, let's see. I think I covered that one. Okay. So basically this one down here is literally just this sound, except it's just an octave higher. Just to make sure that I didn't not cover this. Distortion. So I have it on the decimate setting on this one. I don't know if the other one's on the decimate setting, but this one is on the decimate setting. And that's what gives it that cool sound. If I take the distort off, then it sounds different. So what's giving it that texture is adding this decimate on top. And yeah, so that's now we're done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I already said my whole outro, but let's say it one more time. I hope you guys have a nice day or night, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Thank you for watching this walkthrough. Peace. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial / walkthrough. If you would like to see way more in-depth content where I talk about pretty much all my most popular songs and some secret tips and tricks that allow me to make the music that I make sure to please go check out my Patreon. I have several different tiers. where you can even have a private lesson with me. It could be a 30-minute lesson or a 60-minute lesson, depending on the tier that you get. All the tiers include having one question answered. So make sure to go check that out if you would like more in-depth tutorials / walkthroughs. I would really appreciate that. So make sure to go check out the Patreon. Hope you have a nice day or night or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Peace.